United States-based humanitarian organization equipping the persecuted raised an alarm over an alleged plan to carry out coordinated attacks on some northern Nigerian communities on Christmas Day. Well, this particular warning was downplayed by the Nigerian government, even as the presidency also denied or dismissed claims of genocidal attacks in Nigeria. So to give more perspective to this, I'm joined by a public affairs analyst, Todimu Ige. He's right here in our studio. And of course, he will be sharing his thoughts with us. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So would you also dismiss the claim of a possible attack on some northern communities in Nigeria, despite the fact that a report, so to speak, has been made available, but then the Nigerian government has said it's not really a big deal?
Well, as an individual, I wouldn't want to dismiss such a claim. Why? Has it happened before? Yes, countless times. And anything that has to do with security, it is important that we evaluate every intel, work with it, and see what can be done, as opposed to just dismissing it outrightly.
But then, even though we might not outrightly qualify this news as an intelligence report, could it be that this humanitarian organization might just be, in a way, trying to fuel the genocidal narrative against Christians in Nigeria in the U.S.?
Well, in as much as that is a possibility, the onus is on the government to now invite such persons. You have made such an allegation, you have laid such facts. Come in for questioning. Where did you get your intel? Make available to us information, because of course the National Security Agency, the NSA, and of course the DSS would also be on top of their game. And every threat should be identified, evaluated, and dismissed. If there is no substance to that allegation, then those people should be made to face the law.
It's quite interesting that even the DSS did confirm that they have newswind of the possibility of attacks being perpetrated by some certain elements during Christmas period. But then what beats me is the swift reply coming from the presidency trying to dismiss or downplay such news. Is there anything attached to it that probably might seem ridiculously abnormal in your assessment of this?
Well, when it comes to security matters, not everything is brought to the fore. The government might have dismissed that claim in order to not to increase the fear of the populace, considering that tensions are on the rise every day, considering the spate of attacks here and there. So the government would come out as a show of force to say we're on top of our game. Whatever you are saying is not true. Even if it's true, our security agencies have dealt with it. So it's not out of line or out of place for the government to come out as a show of force to say no, there's nothing like that, and call their bluff.
So yes, we understand we're trying to prevent public panic, right? But then, how adequate do you think Nigeria's security apparatus is to, most especially, come and protect the vulnerable communities that might be like possible attacks in those areas?
Yes, it is also very good now that they have gotten prior information. They have prior knowledge of where those attacks can come from. And our security agencies, if they're on top of their game, is to increase security in areas that we envisage such attacks. And it could even be a decoy by these elements. What the government should do is to ensure that there's security of lives and property around that axis. If it needs to double or even triple the security, the security outfit in those areas, it should be widespread, not just those areas that have been mentioned. Also, in the intelligence report that has gotten to them, it is high time that they now begin to pick up people they suspect to be of high value who would influence such operations. This way, if they hit those areas early enough, it destabilizes these elements.
Okay, so what would be your assessment of the presidency's denial of genocidal attacks, either against Christians or against Muslims? The narrative being played out by the presidency is that it's just a broader security issue driven by extremism. How do you assess it?
Well, whatever nomenclature the government wants to give it, the truth of it is that lives of Nigerians is being truncated. How? By killings of people who are extremists, people who are doing it for the purpose of money. And what is important, as enabled by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is that we have a right to life, we have a right to movement, we have a right to security. And these are the obligations of the government to ensure that Nigerians do not live in fear. Nigerians do not live in fear of losing their life as a result of religion. So the government must step up to their game. Whatever nomenclature, as far as I'm concerned, lives have been lost. If it's on the basis of religion, if it's on the basis of feeding, if it's on the basis of money, what is important is that every Nigerian, my child, your child, everybody must be protected. And that's what the government should do.
And we see that there are joint security task force, there are local vigilantes, and there's still talks around security policing. But does it look as though it's been politicized? Because we've not really seen the aggression in implementing this, even when we see that the speed of attack has been on the rise.
Yes, it's quite unfortunate where we have found ourselves. Over time, where we have, people have been agitating for state police, community policing. That's the step in the right direction. I'm wondering why we are slacking on that. Reason is because, of course, it can be abused. But we have structures that can be put in place. You don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. Let state policing come in, because people who live in a locality have the intelligence report. If it's local policing, they are able to pinpoint this person looks strange. This person doesn't come from this community. There's a strange affair going on. These people move items, they move food items, they move even the victims. People see something and they most times want to trust people who are in their locality. And when we move in that direction, I'm sure that we'll see some bit of relief.
Okay, so we are going to end with this. A lot of people trying to shy away from it anyway. But then when you see the stepping down, or probably the sack, we don't even know which one it is out of the two, of the former defense minister, that is Badru, and the calls for the defense minister for state, Matawale, to also step down. And we saw the appointment of the new chief of defense staff, coming to play, Christopher Musa. Does it play up a sentiment as regards maybe an internal sabotage in the security architecture in Nigeria that's making it hard for Nigeria to actually deal with terrorism and banditry?
Well, one must be careful when it comes to security concerns. But the truth of it is, like, some school of thought have asserted that it shouldn't be this difficult. There appears to be internal sabotage, or there are some persons who don't want security of lives and property, or some people are profiting from it. So the duty of the government is not to entertain sentiments, not to entertain politics. The president has been elected to do a job. What job is that? Secure lives and properties, regardless of what party they belong to, regardless of what tribe they belong to, regardless of their religion. The lives of every Nigerian must be protected. And that's what is important to us.
Well, we hope that this matter will not be taken with kid gloves anymore by the Nigerian government, because people lose their lives on a daily.
Every day.
And the kidnappings can be quite traumatizing for families and victims. So we hope that a lot of effort will put into putting an end to this. But I must say thank you, Todimu Ige, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.